What's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to another episode of Axel's Analysis. As always, I'm your NXT nerd and your Indian former Axel Mulligan. Took a week off last week, had a week-long hiatus, I suppose you could call it. Basically, I was away last weekend. I went to Wolverhampton for an all-day punk festival, which was good fun. It consisted of seeing two of my favourite punk bands, the UK Subs and Cocksparrow, and also consisted of me drinking far too much cider. When I probably shouldn't have drank as much cider as I did. Nonetheless, I drank a lot of cider, I ate a lot of shit, and I got to listen to two of my favourite bands, so can't really go wrong. NXT this week, it wasn't the best of shows. Just felt quite empty to me. There wasn't much substance to the show as much as storylines progressed. Not directly with the in-ring action, but because of promos and the end of the show as well, I suppose, obviously progressed the second storyline in NXT right now. Kick off the show, we had Rich Brennan, Jason Albert and Renee Young on commentary, and the first match was Tyler Breeze versus Marcus Louis. If you could call it a match, that was basically Tyler Breeze came down to the ring first, did all his, his catwalk model shit, and then Marcus came out. He had his head covered in the towel like he's been doing recently, and Breeze sort of looked at him as if to say, "What the fuck? What the hell?" And Breeze was brilliant here. I thought, he really played the heel well. Marcus is starting to get over as a face. Breeze basically took the mic and ran down Marcus, referring to him as Gollum, and says he doesn't want to be as precious, which I thought was quite funny. And it got a precious chant from the crowd as well, which was pretty cool. Tyler basically said, "You want to see how ugly this guy is? You need to see it." And he pulled his towel off of his head. Tyler nearly threw up in his mouth a bit, which was quite funny as well. But he sort of did it to expose how ugly, quote unquote, Marcus is. But I was hoping that Marcus was going to lose his shit over it, similar to like a Kane in 2003 when he was unmasked. Because Marcus is he's turning into a bit of a dark character, which is good. I like it because he's actually got some substance behind him now, as opposed to just being a Frenchman. Like when he was with Sylvester Lefort, it was just Marcus Louis, who cares? But now he's got a character and he's got some substance behind it, which is really good. Basically, Tyler says, "You don't get to touch me tonight. You don't get to fight me tonight. Nobody's ever going to love you. Get out of the ring." So as Marcus is about to leave the ring, Tyler Breeze pulls him round, hits him with the beauty shot, and the bell had already rang when Marcus got into the ring. So 1, 2, 3, Tyler picked up the win. I'm expecting a rematch at our Evolution, to be honest with you. It was good for what it was, but it just seemed quite cheap to me, I thought. But what can you do? Tyler, brilliant heel, I think. Marcus, it's weird, because I actually feel quite sorry for him, although I know it's scripted and whatnot. I just feel sorry for him. I don't know why. I'm weird like that. I feel sorry for people. Probably because I was bullied myself in school. So, but no. I'm really hoping that they do sort of take the Marcus Louis character into some form of direction, how they went with Kane in 2003, because he's got the similar look. Because if you remember rightly, Kane actually came out with a towel over his head for a little while to hide his ugliness from the scars from when he was burned as a child and things like that. And Marcus is sort of doing the same thing. He's hiding what he perceives to be his ugly, bald head. I'm just hoping that he turns to some sort of dark and sinister side like Kane did. Not necessarily to set commentators on fire or tombstone the woman who's running the company onto a steel stage, but just, as I say, he's got a bit of substance to his character, so that would just add to that little bit of substance that he's got there already. So I think he looks quite good in the ring as well, Marcus. He had a decent showing against, I think it was Sami Zayn about 6 weeks ago. And I thought he looked quite solid in the ring. So, the more that he can sort of put himself over in the ring as well, obviously it's going to benefit him in the long run. Anyway, moving on. Carmella's up next. So, Big Cass and Enzo come out, they do their usual stuff. And then they introduce Carmella, who does all of her usual stuff, bada bing, hottest chick in the ring, so on and so forth. Enzo and Cass built up her opponent, excuse me. And when it became apparent as to who it was, they said making her return to NXT, the crowd went fucking ape because they knew it was going to be Blue Pants. And it actually got one of, if not the biggest pop of the night. I thought it was pretty cool. The match lasted about a minute. Carmella won with her submission finisher, as you'd expect. But, yeah. The problem with the Divas roster is there's not enough Divas on there. Or women, sorry. Women. There's not enough women on the NXT roster. This isn't including Blue Pants because she's not hired as such. On TV at the moment we've got Carmella, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss. 6 women. You can't really build a division around that. Natalia's not competing on there anymore. She's just in Tyson Kidd's corner, as we find out later in this show. I think they need to bring 1 or 2 more women up to the NXT roster, just to, because they're talking about putting Charlotte up. People obviously want Sasha Banks to go up. There's people who want Bayley to go up. You can't lose that many women and not replace them. You do need, I would say, Charlotte's due to be moved up fairly soon, so that would reduce it to 5 women. You need 3, 4 maybe at most. Failing that, you could bring women down to help bolster the roster. Emma's not doing much on the main roster. Bring her back down because she put on some fucking brilliant matches in NXT. Just remember the championship match she had with Paige at Arrival, and that was something fucking special. That was brilliant. Natalya, while she's down there, she could work more matches. Alicia Fox, she's not particularly doing anything on the main roster at the moment, since she had her split up, I suppose you could call it, with Paige. There's different avenues that they can go down, They could be like Tyson Kidd, work NXT and the main roster. And I think in Emma's case and in Alicia Fox's case, it will work very well. Cameron could move down as well because she's shit in the ring and she really needs to improve before she's fighting more often on pay-per-views in Raw and SmackDown. Fuck me, she's not even good enough for superstars at the moment. Get her back down, get her in the performance center, get her honing her craft, I suppose you could call it. Then this is a woman whose favourite match was Alicia Fox versus Melina, who nobody fucking remembers. Maybe something like Naomi every now and then. Maybe I remember they used to bring down 1 main roster male wrestler for every set of tapings. So why not bring down 1 female wrestler for every set of TV tapings, just to help put over a female wrestler on the NXT roster? You never know. Could work. Then this is WWE. I say that a lot. And generally WWE knows what they're doing. There are the occasions when they don't. And women's wrestling, up until earlier this year on the main roster, they didn't know what they were doing for quite a long time. And they're sort of starting to lose their way on NXT as well. But hey ho. Finn Balor had a little promo backstage. He talks about his match with Tyson Kidd as the main event for this show. He says he's here to make a big impact and suggests that Tyson makes a DVD of the match and sends it to Bret Hart. Basically, Tyson's sort of running his mouth about being the new hitman and all this kind of shit, and wanting to make Bret Hart proud, yada yada yada. Kalisto Cara versus Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan. Decent enough tag team match. There was no real talking points though. It was just a solid match. Kind of, I don't know. I covered the House of Hardcore event recently, and Austin Aries versus Drew Galloway. Obviously, in no way, shape, or form was it the same quality as that match, because that was the best wrestled match on that show. There were no real talking points. This was just another similar story to that. There were no real talking points. It was just a decent tag team match. Kalisto pinned Jason Jordan after the Salida del Sol. Basically, they're looking strong in the lead up to take over our Evolution, which is obviously good. You know, they're facing up against the full villains. I like Kalisto Cara, don't get me wrong. And I like Jordan and Dillinger as a tag team, but I don't know. The division is not, it's more alive than it was when the Ascension were champions, don't get me wrong. But I think, you know, you do need a bit more variety, you know. The matches need to be a little bit longer, need to have a bigger impact, kind of like what they've got on the main roster. You know, the tag division on the main roster has improved a lot recently. There's just something missing, and I can't really put my finger on exactly what it is. But I'm hoping they get it right. You know, I know Kinney from the Sunday Segway podcast. He's a big fan, as I am, of Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake. Maybe they could promote them as a team more, you know. They're obviously semi-serious about most of it because they've got matching ring gear. I don't know. Bring up a couple more teams, maybe. You know, Sami Callihan. He's not debuted yet. Get him in a team with somebody, whoever that happens. I think maybe Kevin Steen when he debuts. Kevin Owens. I don't know. They need to do something. They need to put in a team who's going to make an impact and be the next big thing in the WWE. Not to necessarily stay as a tag team, but to make a big impact in the WWE. I mean, like the initial NXT Tag Team Champions you had, it was the British Ambition, Adrian Neville and Oliver Gray. Unfortunately, Oliver Gray had a bad injury, got released. Adrian Neville, look at him now. You know, they need the next Adrian Neville to come through, if you're talking in terms of NXT. Speaking of Kevin Owens just now, we had a brief Kevin Owens promo, basically promoting his debut for NXT TakeOver, the next TakeOver, which is our Evolution. Decent little video package, I thought, talking about like how he's providing for his family and been wrestling for the last 14 years. I'm a big Kevin Steen fan, you know, I'm a big Ring of Honor fan, as many of you know. I can't fucking wait. I'm just wondering, are they going to use the Fight Owens Fight or Kill Owens Kill? Not very PG saying Kill Owens Kill, but who knows? I'm looking forward to it, you know. December the 11th can't come soon enough, or December the 12th as it'll be when I watch it. I just can't wait. I think it's going to be fucking brilliant that night. It could top Arrival because of the names that are on that card. You know, you've got Sami Zayn versus Adrian Neville for the championship. You've got Kalisto Cara versus the Bold Villains, which two very good tag teams. You've got Finn Balor and Hideo Itami are obviously going to be facing up against the Ascension. Kevin Owens is going to make his debut. You've got Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. That is a fucking loaded card. It's more loaded than what I would say Arrival was. Looking forward to it, and if you're not looking forward to it, then why are you watching NXT is all I got to say. Bayley came out to cut a promo next. She talks about Charlotte basically told her to stay home because she's not going to be there to look after her this week. This promo was like bullshit, really, I thought. Basically, she calls Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch bullies. But she's dealt with bullies her entire life. Like when she was at school, her mum, she used to go and cry, and her mum would say, "You need to go back and stand up to those bullies." Blah blah blah. Sasha and Becky came down and issued a very unconvincing beatdown. And I thought it was just a very weak segment. The show didn't need it as such. You know, we had our Divas section earlier in the show. Well, in my opinion, what they could have done, maybe done without this segment, maybe have a backstage segment. He didn't need Becky to come down to, because it lasted 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. It just felt like, really? You could have just had them kick the shit out of Bayley backstage. Like if she's on the phone to Charlotte or something, and just have them kick the shit out of her backstage. I don't know. I'm not a booker. Natalia versus Tyson Kidd. Natalia and the Tyson Kidd promo. Next is one of those WWE.com interviews. The interviewer basically asked Natalia about Tyson's match with Finn later on. She says it's another chance for Tyson to prove himself, and each time you get to face a new opponent, you get a chance to show something new. Tyson butts in saying that if they want his opinion, then to ask him for it. You know, he's like, I'm right here. Why are you asking her when I'm right here? I like what they're doing with Tyson, actually, with these kinds of things, because what they're trying to do is not necessarily promote Natalia more, but it sort of antagonises Tyson. And I love what Tyson's character is right now on NXT, and on the main roster for that matter. You know, he's working really well. He's working the mic really well. And who thought we'd be saying that 2 years ago? But no, I think he's doing brilliantly, and it's just a shame they didn't sort of cash in on this a couple of years ago when he was with what was that guy's name? Jackson something, Andrew Jackson or Jackson Andrews or something. They should have used this type of gimmick back then when he had that bodyguard as such, but they didn't. They're getting it now. It's working. I'm loving it. Everybody's loving it. He talks about the tag match from a couple of weeks ago where Finn and Hideo won, where he teamed with Justin Gable and said, you know, Justin's got a knack of losing matches, but that's okay. He's my friend. Blah blah blah. And then he talks about how he's been working with his uncle Bret. And when he refers to Bret Hart as his uncle, it just makes me think that like Natalia's his sister or something. You know, it just sounds wrong. Tyson basically calls himself the new Hitman. That sort of ends the promo. Actually, there was a little bit at the end where Natalia said, "Oh, Bret's our uncle. He's my uncle too." And she goes to hug Tyson. And he's like, "Whoa, have you checked on the cats?" And she said, "Yeah, I checked on the cats." And he actually leaves Natalia to go and FaceTime the cats. I thought that was quite funny. We had a little Vaudevillain sketch on this. I thought this was brilliant. It was a silent movie. It was probably about 3 or 4 minutes long. And it's a silent movie basically mocking Kallista Cara. Last week they had 2 midgets came out. One was played by El Torito. I can't remember who the other one was played by now. No, it wasn't Hornswoggle. But they had 2 midgets come out dressed in Kallista Cara gear. And this silent movie was basically mocking Kallista Cara. It was fucking brilliant. I thought it was probably the highlight of the show. And we have Finn Balor versus Tyson Kidd up next. And I thought this topped that. I loved it. I like silent movies anyway. I like the concept of them. I think they're brilliant. And I'm a big Aiden English fan. I like Simon Gotch as well. And the way that they just worked this little segment was brilliant, I thought. And it's really making me look forward to the tag title match in a couple of weeks' time. Main event, Finn Balor versus Tyson Kidd. A very well wrestled match, but they didn't get long enough to work it. You know, they should have had another 10 minutes or so, and it left me feeling quite disappointed, really. I'd love to have seen them go for another 10 minutes because these two are 2 of the best wrestlers in the WWE. Well, not just the WWE, probably in the world. 2 of, I don't know, maybe top 20 wrestlers in the world. That's just me thinking off the top of my head. Balor won by DQ. He was on the top rope looking to hit the double diving foot stomp, or diving double foot stomp. But the Ascension came to the ring. Victor hit him with a big uppercut and just a big fucking brawl and shoot. You know, Hideo Itami came down. Referees come down. You had loads of other, you know, guys that we've never even seen before come down, try to break it all up. And the show went off the air with the fight still going on. And we've not seen this happen on a regular basis. Obviously, this is just a one-off, but I used to love watching it back in sort of 2002, 2001, 2002, where the brawl was going on while the show was going off the air. I fucking loved it. And this just brought back so many old memories for me. I just thought it was a brilliant way to end the show. Sadly, on the whole, the show was shit. So I've given it a 5 out of 10. As I say, not a great show, but the ending, I thought it was fucking brilliant. And the Vaudevillains promo as well. Just 3 or 4 minutes, or however long that lasted. Just brilliant. Absolutely fucking amazing. Right, this week I'm not going with news. I'm not going with a grappling great. I'm not going with the birthdays. Next, or this Sunday coming, Ring of Honor Final Battle 2014. And as I said, I'm a big Ring of Honor fan. I will be covering this show. Me and my good friend, Mr. Tim Vicious, will be covering this show. Whether we do it as Vicious Rants, or whether we do it as Axel's Analysis, or my idea, the Vicious Analysis. Tim was keen on the idea. Spoke to him about a month or so ago. He's a big Ring of Honor fan as well. We're both torn on the main event. He's a Jay Briscoe guy. I'm an Adam Cole guy. We're both very torn on like opinions with that. Same as we were last week when the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely crushed the Dallas Cowboys. But that's another matter. Tim's from Philly. I'm not from Dallas, but I am a Cowboys fan. So basically, card 4 so far. Card 4 final battle is you got Roderick Strong, you got Mentor versus Student. Roderick Strong versus Adam Page. Adam Page is going to have BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs in his corner. Really looking forward to this because Roddy was brilliant as part of the decade. You've got Adam Page, who was their young boy. Obviously, Roddy was sort of his mentor, as I say, and he really sort of brought him up. You know, not necessarily protected him initially from BJ Whitmer, who was a fucking asshole, to Adam Page and to TD Thomas as well, who was part of the decade as well. But Roddy sort of broke away from the group a couple of weeks back when Page threw a chair to him to clobber. I think it was one of Red Dragon. I can't remember now. But Roddy didn't want the use of the chair, ended up losing the match. And then Adam Page has since taken liberties against Roddy for it. You know, he cost him his match at Glory by Honor a couple of weeks ago. But no, all the matches I'm looking forward to for different reasons. In this one is one of the more personal rivalries that you're going to see on this card. R.D. Evans versus Moose, another personal rivalry where Moose cost R.D. Evans the TV title at Glory by Honor recently. Stokely Hathaway, the man formerly known as Ramon, is going to be in the corner of Moose. I'd imagine Vader Scott to be in the corner of R.D. Evans. The streak is over. But you know, R.D. Evans, he's out for some vengeance against Moose. Really looking forward to that match because former football players don't normally impress me in the ring. The exceptions being guys like Ron Simmons. Moose, fucking hell. That guy can do some crazy shit in the ring. I seen him at Glory by Honor. I was watching it last night. And he did a fucking somersault fucking plancha over the top rope to 3 guys. It's fucking insane. The guy's fucking nuts. Michael Elgin versus Tommaso Ciampa. That's another really good one to look forward to. You know, 2 rough and rugged guys. Elgin's got a gripe with Ring of Honor. Ciampa's got a gripe with Ring of Honor. Neither of them really like Nigel McGuinness too much. And what I would love to fucking see is Nigel McGuinness in as a special guest referee because it's 2 guys he doesn't particularly like and both they don't particularly like him too much. I just think Nigel as a referee would work perfectly. I don't think they'll go down that route, unfortunately, but it's a shame that they probably won't. I think that after Final Battle, we could see Elgin and Ciampa teaming up because of their gripes with Ring of Honor. They both say, you know, they haven't got gripes with the fans, so they've got gripes with Ring of Honor as a company from the way they've been treated. You know, Elgin, obviously after he lost the world title, Ciampa for not receiving a shot at the world title or what he deems to be a fair shot at the world title. You know, he did lose a title match to Elgin. But, you know, I think it's going to be a brilliant match. You know, they can both work the ring well. Elgin, especially for a big guy, you know, he's such a fucking brilliant athlete. He really is. And so is Ciampa as well. I've always said as well with Tommaso Ciampa, his entrance music just sounds like something that Joy Division would sing. And I'm a Joy Division fan, so I'm not going to complain. This one, the Young Bucks and ACH versus the Addiction and Cedric Alexander. Holy fucking shit, this is going to be amazing. I've received my invitation to the Super Kick party. I am RSVP, and yes, ACH, always, you know, always a bucket of energy, always just so entertaining to watch. The Addiction as well. Kaz and Daniels have been great for so many years. I marked out when I knew they were coming back to or when Daniels was going back to Ring of Honor anyway. Kaz, when he was announced that he was going to Ring of Honor. Cedric Alexander, everybody says it about Cedric, you know, he is the future of Ring of Honor. If he's not world champion by this time next year, I'll be very surprised, or at least a TV champion by this time next year. The guy's just got bags and bags and bags of potential, and he's only getting better as well. I think he's about 25 years old. And that's a scary thing, because you've got all these young guys in Ring of Honor, you know, guys like Cedric Alexander, ACH, Adam Cole, Adam Page. All these guys are just getting better, and there's some guys in WWE who will never get to that ability that these guys have got. And these guys, Page, Cole, Cedric Alexander, ACH, they're only getting better. And that's the scary thing. But that should be one of the matches of the night. TV title match, Jay Lethal with Truth Martini versus Matt Sydal, reborn Matt Sydal. I'm definitely looking forward to it, but not sure who I think is going to win. Now, I'm going with Lethal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Truth Martini screwed Lethal over for Matt Sydal to win, because he seems to really want to recruit Matt Sydal, and I'm torn. I'm really torn. I'm going with Lethal to win that, but it's going to be a great match. Red Dragon versus the Time Splitters for the tag titles. Alex Shelley's first match in the United States for 3 years. 3 years. This guy was a staple in TNA for however many years. I'm going with Red Dragon to win that, to retain. You know, there's an added incentive for the Time Splitters of, will they beat us for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles? We can take their Ring of Honor Tag Team titles from them. I'm a big Red Dragon fan. I've loved them ever since the first time I watched them. Kyle O'Reilly especially, what a fucking wrestler that guy is. Red Dragon, I think, will retain. But again, I'm just really looking forward to it. And this is, you know, the main event, as I say. Jay Briscoe versus Adam Cole for the ROH World title in a fight without honour. I can't decide who's going to win, because my heart will always go with Adam Cole, because he is my favourite wrestler in the world right now. But then on the flip side of that, Jay Briscoe hasn't been pinned in over 2 years. And they're building him up strong. It's the biggest event of the year for Ring of Honor. They'll want to end it on a high for their fans, because their fans generally cheer for the faces and boo for the heels. And these aren't like your basic wrestling fans. These are smart people, you know. I want to say Adam Cole, but I think I'm going to have to go Jay Briscoe. And if Tim's right again on this, I'm not going to live it down, I don't think. Also signed to appear on the show, you've got Hanson and Mark Briscoe. How they're going to appear on the show, I don't know. Maybe Mark Briscoe be in the corner of Jay. How Hansen's going to be involved in the show, I don't know. Maybe they face off against one another. I think they've already faced off once on pay-per-view this year. I'm pretty sure it was at All-Star Extravaganza 6 back in September. But Hansen versus Mark Briscoe. You know, Hansen, he's a brilliant athlete. You know, for a big guy. Mark Briscoe, Chicken as he likes to be called. Mark Briscoe, in my opinion, I think he's the more talented wrestler out of him and his brother. And that's probably going to be an unpopular opinion, and I'm going to have a few people fucking shooting me down for that. But Mark just seems to be a bit more excited in the ring. You know, he's more agile. Obviously, the redneck kung fu, everybody loves that. But we'll see how these two play apart. The one match I really want to see on the card, because they built it up on TV over the last couple of weeks, is BJ Whitmer versus Steve Corino. Steve Corino's never liked BJ Whitmer. He's never made that a secret. And BJ Whitmer, you know, he just fucking hates everybody, doesn't he? I think they could have not a great match, but a decent match. But we'll see what they do. I don't think we'll see it now because it would have been announced, you know, 6 days before the event. I think it would have been announced by now, but who knows? Two names not advertised, which is quite surprising, really. Caprice Coleman and T.D. Thomas. I wouldn't mind seeing them go up against one another. Whether that happens or not now is another matter, but I don't know. There's a few names. The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett with Maria. They won't be there because they're working Japan at the moment. AJ Styles will obviously be working Japan. There's a few other names as well that won't be on the card, which is unfortunate. But you know, nature of the beast when you've got two companies that work side by side the way Ring of Honor and New Japan do. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Make sure you check out, however me and Tim bring it to you next week, Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2014. It's going to be one of the best wrestling shows of the year, in my opinion. You know, just that card that I ran down for you there kind of speaks for itself, really, to say that it's going to be a very entertaining show. That's the end of the show. As always, make sure you follow me on Facebook at Axel Mulligan. Follow the Axel's Analysis page at Axel's Analysis. Make sure you check out Axel's Analysis on Facebook as well. Also got a Google Plus page. I never really use it, but the shows get uploaded to my YouTube page, which then in turn get updated on my Google Plus page. But yeah, Axel's Analysis on there as well. I started it yesterday, and I'm going to try and continue this for as long as I can on the Facebook page and the Twitter page, putting up matches, not necessarily from WWE or NXT. Some of my favourite matches, just to give you guys an idea of what sort of matches I'm into. And you never know, you might enjoy watching a new wrestler, you might enjoy watching a match that you've never seen before. Yesterday I put up the match that got me interested in wrestling back at SummerSlam 2000. It was Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit, 2 out of 3 falls. In my opinion, one of the best wrestling matches that I've ever seen. I put a link up to that on the Facebook page and on the Twitter page. So I'm going to try and continue to do that as much as I can. The next match I'm going to be putting up is from, it was the last ECW match for the old ECW, Jerry Lynn versus RVD, Guilty as Charged 2001 at the Hammerstein. That was a brilliant match. So that'll be going up shortly. Probably be going up actually before I post this show online. But yeah, as always, shout outs, Tim Vicious at Tim Vicious at Tim_Vicious on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's got a Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash, because he still believes in kayfabe. So he won't be revealing his real name. I don't even know his real name. But he's a good friend of mine. Make sure you check out Vicious Rants on YouTube, where Tim talks about pay-per-views and Raws. Make sure you check out the Sunday Segway podcast. My Bristol brother Kinney and Shugs every week covering Raws, pay-per-views, talk about what's going on in the wrestling world, so on and so forth. It was Kinney's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, Kinney. Hope you had a good day with the family. And I will be facing him in the Beat the Clock Challenge final. I'm not sure when that's going to be yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's probably going to be the one where I choke. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been good fun, this tournament. few surprises along the way as well. Yeah, make sure you check out James's Wrestling Ramble at James Powers 33 on Twitter and at James's Ramble. Make sure you check out his co-host Mike Rodriguez on Twitter at Mr. President 92. You can listen to James's Wrestling Ramble on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic. Sorry, no, that's where you can find the Sunday Segue. Sunday Segue is on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio. James's Wrestling Ramble, YouTube, Mixcloud, and Podomatic. If you have got it anywhere else, James, let me know. I'll add it to the list. Tony Walker, check out his Wrestling Matters podcast. Find him on Twitter at Tony_Walker. Find the Wrestling Matters podcast on Twitter at WM Podcast. You can find the Wrestling Matters podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, and Mixcloud at PW Smart Talk. Not sure whether Nick's actually using that page anymore. If he's not, I will find out where it is for the next show, and I'll put it down and give you his new Twitter handle. And as always, my NXT partners in crime, Wayne and Marianne Mason. At Graven Babies is where you can find Marianne. At Wayne Mason is where you can find Wayne. Make sure you check out masonsringside-review.blogspot.com for all their NXT live show reviews. They've been to more NXT shows than I've had hot meals. They always put up a great review, pictures, rundowns of the matches, always brilliant. Make sure you check them out. And thank you very much for listening. As I say, I will be covering Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2014 with Tim Vicious at some stage, in some way, shape or form. How that's going to be presented, I'm not sure yet, but I dare say I'll be talking to Tim in the week and we'll get more details out of that as soon as possible. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you next week.